Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got a ton of new information to go over about Pokemon Legends ZA, new starter Pokemon hints for this game. We also have some new things that you probably missed from the latest trailer and a few rumors to go over as well. There's a lot of stuff to break down and get into today. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. What would you love the starters to be? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, this is a pretty big hint towards what the starter Pokemon could potentially be for Pokemon Legends ZA. So we have this tweet here from Ice-Type saying, I'm guessing that the one in the first volume of the Pokemon Encyclopedia is the third family of Pokemon Legends ZA. So this has obviously been translated badly from Google Translate. But basically, there was a like a Nintendo magazine or like a Pokemon magazine or something like that. And they had this image of the Hisuian starters, which of course, as we know, are Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott. However, though, on a page next to that, they also had these three starters as well, being Grookey, Squirtle, and Torchic. And so, because these have been like put next to each other as like kind of, I mean, what they're really doing is they're kind of just acting out the type kind of weakness and strength. So obviously, like, the red arrow is good against Grookey because fire is good against grass. The green arrow is good against Squirtle because grass is good against water. And then the blue arrow is water, which is obviously water is good against fire, with Squirtle being good against Torchic. So that's kind of what it's acting out. But the fact that they used the Hisuian starters as a kind of as an example, and they've also used these three starters as well, people are kind of putting two and two together and being like, whoa, they're probably going to be the starters of the Legends game because of this magazine here. We do have a few other people kind of talking about this as well. We have Soul Silver out here saying, probably shouldn't sleep on this. I don't know which one, but this is from an official Pokemon Encyclopedia / guidebook. Would they purposely put these two trios side by side for a reason? Personally, I don't buy it because I can't see two that already have Mega Evolutions and one that doesn't, but who knows. Also, on a personal note, I'd be pretty disappointed with these. Not a big fan of the Grookey or Squirtle line. So, yeah, like I say, it's definitely food for thought, 100%. Like, it obviously doesn't confirm anything. It's just very interesting that an official Pokemon Encyclopedia book, they have the Hisuian starters right next to these three random starters. So, I personally wouldn't like these three being the starters. Like, Torchic I can definitely see being one of the starters just because it is a rooster and that is the national animal of France. So that very much makes sense. I know that it already does have a Mega Evolution being Mega Blaziken, but obviously it was the mystery gift back in X and Y, so it's a nice kind of callback to that. And because it is a rooster, it just makes sense. It's the national animal of France. Grookey doesn't really make any sense, and Squirtle doesn't make any sense. Like, for me, the water type has to be Piplup as well because of Empoleon being like based off of Napoleon, who of course was the French conqueror and stuff like that. So that all makes sense. The grass type is still a little bit like in the air of what it potentially could be, but Torchic and Piplup make the most sense for the fire and the water starter if they go that route. Again, I still think they're just going to do the 3 Generation 6 starters and just give them all Mega Evolutions. I just feel like that is the very, very likely option because the thing is, with Hisui, it took place like years and years and years and years ago, and Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet were brought to this land, Hisui, from like, I don't know if it was the professor or someone else, but basically they were brought, like, they weren't native to that area. Whereas if the Pokemon Legends ZA only takes place like 100 years in the past, Froakie, Fennekin, and Chespin are probably still going to be native to Kalos, and there's no reason why they couldn't be the starters. You know, they probably could also be found in the wild, just like the Generation 4 starters can, but it also makes sense for them to be the actual starters. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's just kind of like a little bit of a hint there. And we do also have a little bit more information to go over as well about the potential starters as well. So a lot of people are saying like the starter Pokemon have to be choices that already have no kind of forms or any kind of like additional thing. So this is kind of like the list of Pokemon that could potentially be the starters based on that idea, you know, that they don't have any forms and stuff. So Soul Silver once again here saying, if starters already having forms count them out of getting Megas / forms in Pokemon Legends ZA, then these are the ones we'd be left with. which 3 do you think would make the most sense from the ones that aren't crossed out from the template? So, Soul Silver Arts are Serperior, Incineroar, and Empoleon. Also, if Pokemon Legends ZA follows Pokemon Legends Arceus starter rules, then the Kalos starters wouldn't be contenders as the main starters either. That's why I put a question mark. So, this is the list. So, it can't be any of the Kanto starters because we already have Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard, and Mega Blastoise. It can't be Typhlosion because we already have Hisuian Typhlosion, but it could be Meganium or Feraligatr. Either of these I would be very, very happy to see as the starter, whether they get like a new form or a Mega Evolution. Like Grass Fairy for Meganium would be perfect, or Water Dragon or Water Dark for Feraligatr would also be really, really cool. So I'd really, really like to see one of those two get it, especially because all of the Johto representation that we've had this year already, and it is the 25th anniversary. I know the game is coming out next year, but I would like to see one of these two make the cut. Now, it can't be any of the Generation 3 starters because they all have Mega Evolutions, being Mega Sceptile, Mega Blaziken, and Mega Swampert. We have all of the Generation 4 starters being available, so Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon. None of them have any kind of form, and again, I think Empoleon makes the most sense as the water starter because of Napoleon, the French conqueror. We then have the Generation 5 starters. Samurott already have Hisuian Samurott, so that can't be an option. So we have Emboar and Serperior. Serperior apparently makes a lot of sense as well. We did cover it in a recent video. I can't remember the reasoning behind it, but apparently, you know, Snivy has a pretty good shout as well. The Generation 6 starters is a little bit weird because we already have Ash Greninja, so if it was going to be the Generation 6 starters, would it get a Mega Evolution as well as Ash Greninja? Which, again, is very capable of happening. You know, Charizard's got multiple forms, why can't Greninja? But obviously with Delphox and Chestnut, it depends on the rule that they follow, because if they do follow Legends Arceus, then it can't be the Generation 6 starters. However, though, they could just literally just change that anyway. So Chestnut and Delphox could potentially be the starters as well as Greninja, and they could all get Mega Evolutions. It can't be Decidueye because we have Hisuian Decidueye, but it could be Incineroar and it could be Primarina. For Cinderace and Inteleon and whatchamacallit, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name, but they basically all have Gigantamax forms. Rillaboom, they all have Gigantamax forms, so it can't be those. But the Generation 9 starters, Meowscarada, Quaquaval, and whatchamacallit, the fire one, they don't have forms. I don't think it'll be any of the Gen 9 starters because we're still in Gen 9, and you know, we've just had 2 years of Scarlet and Violet. In fact, we'll have had 3 years of Scarlet and Violet by the time this game comes out, because we're not, apart from right now, we're not getting any kind of game this year at the time I'm recording this. So yeah, I don't think it'll be the Gen 9 starters. So yeah, personally, like I say, I think it'll be Empoleon. I think it will be Blaziken. I mean, if it's from this list, I think it'd be Empoleon, Serperior. The fire type's really like up in the air. I mean, maybe, I guess, yeah, it'd have to be Incineroar really, because it really can't be Infernape if we already have Empoleon. Can't be Emboar if we have Serperior. And it wouldn't really be the Generation 6 starter if we don't have the other two. I don't think it'd be the Gen 9 starter, and then all the other fire types already have a form. So it probably would make sense to be these three, but we'll have to see what happens. But that's just some more starter Pokemon hints, potentially what we could be seeing for Pokemon Legends ZA. Again, it's obviously going to be revealed, hopefully, relatively soon. But, yeah, there's a lot of speculation about what these three could actually be. But, yeah, what do you think the starters are going to be, and what would you like the starters to be for Pokemon Legends ZA? Anyway, moving on, we have some more things that you may have missed from the recent trailer for this upcoming game. So we have Light here tweeting out saying, probably in the plazas, there will be the gym leader / noble boss fights. Minimum, there will be 5, appearing to be fire, electric, grass, water, and dragon. So, yeah, it definitely looks like it's kind of cut into, it looks like a little bit of a pizza, you know, where there's like just cut into different like biomes, like this is one, this is one, this is one, this is one, and this is one. And then I'm assuming something big will happen in Lumiose Tower, like that might be where you fight the final boss or something like that, because it all takes place in this city. I think it'd be better if you take on the final boss in like the catacombs, because obviously that's under Paris and there's like miles and miles and miles that they've built down there, so that just allows like a whole nother segment to the game, if that's the case, which I feel like it has to be, because you know that would just create so many more opportunities. But yeah, it makes sense that you would battle like a boss or some sort of noble, whatever, in each of these areas. It just makes sense. So that's what I think is going to happen. And then obviously, depending on the typing, it's, you know, it could be anything. But yeah, obviously you have the North Boulevard here and the South Boulevard here. So we might not even have those, like, this is obviously present day Kalos, but like this would be like, this could be completely different because, like I say, the town is being built, like the city is being built. And then nobody is talking about the possibility of the adaptation for the Paris catacombs. Zygarde needs his cave. So yeah, it'd be really, really cool if Zygarde was actually in the catacombs as well. You know, maybe the final boss has something to do with Zygarde. Maybe it is Zygarde itself. So yeah, the catacombs will be a really, really cool location to actually fight the final boss. We also have Superior here talking about this image, which is of course on one of the blueprints seen in the recent trailer, saying it either takes place in the near future or the near past, like 50s to 80s, I don't know, with the whole redevelopment plan leading to the Lumiose City we know in Pokemon X and Y. These handbags did not exist in the 19th century, Legends Arceus timeline, nor like 3,000 years ago, Kalos War timeline. And then it also goes on to say probably the near future because of all the future cyber visuals this announcement has. Pokemon Legends Arceus was the past, Pokemon Legends ZA is the future. But they've got a point, like these handbags are very like modern, you know? And again, it could be like a futuristic blueprint of like what they're expecting to see, but it'd just be interesting that they're also like putting these characters in like clothes and stuff. Because when you think of like our present day, like right now, we don't really think about like clothes of the future, like what people are really going to be wearing and stuff. So, you know, like you don't, I mean, obviously we think about like cars and stuff like that, but like in terms of clothing, you know, there's obviously like scientific clothing being made and stuff, but like ordinary clothes, you know, we don't really think about too much in the near future. So the fact that they already know about like handbags and stuff, you know, if they knew about a handbag, they probably would have already invented it, you know what I mean? So I think that like this just kind of gives an idea of that, yeah, it could be modern day, could be futuristic, could be in the past. And again, I still think that we time travel between different points of time. I think it would just make the game that much bigger. But that's also very, very interesting. Some more food for thought there, 100%. And then we also have this post here from Jan, which I definitely think is going to be the case in Pokemon Legends EA. Just as like an extra quest line, adds more hours to the game. We have Jan here saying, since Mega equals, you know, this many zeros, and Kalos is a region for Mega Evolution, what if they introduce a Mega Zygarde, but in order to unlock it, you need to collect 1,000,000 cells? The ultimate collectathon, the 10,000% Zygarde, aka Mega Zygarde. So this is just kind of like what Lutu here is saying is, never mind, this is going to be the worst Pokemon game of all time. So obviously in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we had to catch, we had to collect, like, was it 107, 108 Wisps or whatever for Spiritomb? That very well could be the situation for this game as well. Like maybe Zygarde isn't even like the main boss or something, and we just have to collect the Zygarde cells or the Zygarde cube and stuff in order to make Zygarde. Maybe it's part of the story, like maybe we have to collect so many in order to kind of create the 100% Zygarde form and stuff. And again, maybe the ending of this game is what teleports Zygarde into Alola. That would be really, really cool. Like it would mean that we couldn't catch Zygarde, but at the same time, it would be like, it'd be a really cool kind of timeline event as to why Zygarde is in Alola. Because like I said, there's so many unexplained things in Kalos, which is why we're expecting a Pokemon Z all these years ago, which we never got. And I still want to go into that bloody locked door as well in the kind of deserty part. And as well as that, like I say, Zygarde is a massive mystery too. So it'd be a really cool explanation of why it's ended up in this location and stuff like that. But yeah, I think like there's going to be some sort of Zygarde cell collecting situation 100% in this game as well, which again, I'm not against. You know, I like collecting things if it's going to make the game feel longer, and especially if it unlocks an event as well, like with the Wisps, you know, we were able to obtain Spiritomb, and then you could get like Spiritomb outbreaks and stuff like that. Like it rewarded you for doing it, and I hope that that's the same kind of case. Obviously it's different in the sense that Spiritomb is a normal Pokemon and Zygarde is a legendary, but they could still do something similar 100%. But would you like to be collecting like hundreds and hundreds of Zygarde cells, or is it like not your kind of cup of tea? But either way, that's all that. We're moving on to a 4chan post though, and I know a lot of people don't like 4chan posts, but we are in the situation where we're probably not going to get another trailer for this game until like June, July, maybe when the Switch 2 is announced. So we're, you know, the 4chan rumors are very much going to be hit or miss. Some, you never know, could be correct. You know, there have been, you know, 4chan posts in the past that have been true. I don't know if they would know any information as of right now because we've not seen any gameplay and stuff. But either way, it could be true. They're always fun to go over anyway and speculate about whether they may or may not be true. But either way, this was posted on the 28th of February and it's Pokemon Legends ZA leak by Anonymous. And they start off by adding this image as well, which this symbol I definitely think could be like the evil team or something like that, 100%. But they say Pokemon Legends ZA takes place in modern times. You play as a newly hired member of the Quasar Institute. The Institute aims to turn Lumiose into a more environmentally friendly city for people and Pokemon. So, yeah, the Quasar thing is something that people have already kind of like made sense about because of this image. Like we think it could be like the Quasar group or something like that. So that's, I'm assuming, where they've got this information from, unless they obviously actually have information about the game. But yeah, Quasar Institute sounds like it could very well be what this is. Whether that's an evil team or not, well, we don't know, but it could be. And then throughout the game, your goal is to naturalize the city's landscape using luminous energy. Luminous energy is generated through the bond that people have with Pokemon. So that kind of screams Mega Evolution as well. Like, the whole point of being able to Mega Evolve is you have a really strong bond with your Pokemon, and then you can Mega Evolve, yada, yada, yada. That's what it's like in the anime. Obviously, in the games, you can catch any Pokemon and then just Mega Evolve it straight away. It doesn't really matter about it. But, yeah, luminous energy sounds like something that would be given off during Mega Evolution. So maybe you are having to like Mega Evolve constantly throughout the game in order to get this energy to help upgrade the city. So you gather luminous energy by completing tasks around Lumiose, being minigames, battles, short quests, etc. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of quests in this game, just like there were in Legends Arceus. I think it's going to be heavily inspired by battles as well. We saw battles in the trailer with the Sylveon and the Aegislash, trainer battles as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of those, especially with like Mega Evolution and stuff. Mini games as well, like, yeah, I could see that being a thing 100%. There was a couple of little mini things in Legends Arceus, so yeah, they'll probably do something like that once again. At the end of the game, each district will end up having different ecological biomes suited to the needs of different Pokemon. So I don't know about this, because I thought the whole point of building Lumiose City was to build to what it is like today, like what it was in X and Y. So I don't know why it would have like loads of different biomes, because Lumiose City just doesn't have that. I'm assuming it would start off with loads of different biomes, and then it begins to become the city that we know in X and Y. But I don't know why the game would end, especially if it's in modern times as well. Like, modern times surely would just be the X and Y Lumiose City that we know. And then they go on to say, for example, Vert Plaza has a variety of tropical flora and a hot climate, while Blue Plaza is a snowy tundra populated by Arctic Pokemon such as Ice Cube and Bergmite. But again, it doesn't really make sense, because I think the whole point is to build Lumiose City that we know. So it doesn't make sense to have all these different biomes. Like, I just can't see that being a thing. They also talk about the starters as well. So the starters are still the same as X and Y games, but later receive one of the Kanto starters. See, I wouldn't like that. We already have that in X and Y. You know, if we were to get the Generation 6 starters, give us like the Johto starters or the Unova starters or something like that. I could see it being Johto or Unova, because obviously it'd be like the 15th year of Unova and stuff like that. Don't give us the Kanto starters again. Even though they can Mega Evolve, they could also give us the Auraz starters as well, because they can Mega Evolve, but after upgrading the city to a certain point. This will officially be revealed on March the 10th. So I don't know. Oh, okay, so the trailer's going to be on March the 10th, which is Mario Day, which is interesting. I mean, March 10th isn't far away at all. Like, that's literally... I mean, I'm recording this on the 29th, so, I mean, this is not far away at all. So it's not even that long until we find this information out. I cannot see us getting a trailer on March the 10th, though, like, a couple of weeks after Pokemon Day. That just does not seem likely in the slightest. But either way, that's one of the 4chan rumors that is kind of circulating around right now. So let me know your thoughts on this. I don't think it's true at all, though. I don't know why. They just kind of contradict themselves within it a lot here. So yeah, I don't think it's true at all. But either way, that is going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. What do you think the starters are going to be for Pokemon Legends ZA? And also, how do you think the city is going to set up with like the different boss battles and stuff? And then what are your take on like the futuristic things, and also potentially gathering loads of Zygarde cubes, and then also this 4chan rumor. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.